According to a recent report from Politico, Governor Ron DeSantis of the great state of Florida is apparently starting to lose most of his influence in the great state of Florida as his presidential campaign continues to very slowly go down the toilet. So here's what's happening according to this report from Politico. Ron DeSantis, earlier this year, here in the state of Florida, hell, even like 3-4 months ago, you didn't cross him. If Ron DeSantis said jump, you didn't even bother to ask how high. You're already halfway in the air saying, I got you, bud. They wouldn't dare go against him. They knew that Ron DeSantis was the authoritarian king of Florida. He was ruling with an iron fist, and by God, you did what this man wanted no matter what. But now, as Politico says, college boards stacked with DeSantis appointees are rejecting job candidates with ties to the governor. The chair of the Republican Party of Florida urged executive committee members to attend all GOP candidate events, giving cover to party faithful who want to attend a dinner at Mar-a-Lago with former President Donald Trump. And the board that oversees many of Florida's affordable housing programs this month placed on leave its executive director, who was helped into the job by a top DeSantis advisor. Interviews with nearly 24 lobbyists, political consultants, and lawmakers revealed that DeSantis' struggles as a presidential candidate have already eroded his influence in Florida. His standing at home may depend on how long he slogs forward in the presidential campaign and how he will manage his exit from the race if he eventually drops out. I don't think it's a matter of if. It's a matter of when. The man dropped down to 5th place in New Hampshire. He's losing New Hampshire to Chris Christie and Ramaswamy and Nikki Haley and Donald Trump and Mike Pence, and then it's Ron DeSantis. I mean, hell, the last Republican primary where we saw a candidate do this badly was actually the last Florida governor to run for president, which was Jeb Bush. So yeah, Florida's not producing presidential material. And the public realizes that very quickly every time there's this, anointed one. Because Jeb Bush, don't forget, in 2015, Jeb Bush was the anointed one in that Republican race before Trump entered. In 2024, Ron DeSantis was the guy that was going to take Trump down. Hell, even I believed it. He was beating Trump in polls at the beginning of this year. Now he's struggling for 5th place in New Hampshire. Jesus. Here's even more, just to show you how much his power has eroded here in Florida. State Representative Daniel Perez, the Miami Republican in line to become the next State House Speaker, urged his GOP colleagues this week to move more carefully in the future, saying that, quote, the problem with wielding the power of government like a hammer is that the people start looking like nails. That old saying. Now, Perez did try to clarify. He's like, no, I'm not saying that's about DeSantis. I'm just saying, the legislature and the governor need to work together, side by side, is what he tried to clarify. But it's like, dude, your statement didn't mean that. It didn't mean that. And hell, I mentioned in that quote, the chairman of the Florida Republican Party. That dude's so out of whack that he actually picked a fight with me on Twitter last weekend, and I shut his ass up real quick. Like, he's got nothing better to do than to argue with me on social media and lose. The party's in disarray here in Florida, much like the Republican Party in Washington, D.C. It's kind of hilarious to watch. Now, this isn't to say that DeSantis has absolutely no power in Florida. He definitely still does. He's definitely still top dog. But we're starting to see a little pushback here and a little pushback there, right? Those examples that Politico pointed out. Republicans starting to kind of distance themselves like, hey, maybe we don't have to do everything he says. Maybe we can challenge him on a couple things. It's not all of the Republican Party. It's not even most of the Republican Party. But it's enough of the Republican Party that people are starting to notice. A few of them have finally stood up and said, wait a minute, the emperor has no clothes. The rest of them are still mumbling to themselves like, wait a minute, are we actually seeing a naked guy or is he wearing fancy, expensive robes? Kind of seems naked. Eventually, they're all going to stand up and point and laugh. And that day will probably come when Ron DeSantis is forced to unceremoniously announce that he's slinking away from the presidential race and headed, unfortunately, back to Florida. Ring of Fire has fresh content 7 days a week, so if you want to be reminded about it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell to be notified every time a new video goes up.